Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Microsoft Pulse. I'm Tamara Bredemus. This is Tom Duff, and we'll be going over the Microsoft roadmap with you to tell you what's new, what's changed, and how it's going to affect you. Now, the roadmap is broken down into 4 sections. The first section is in development. That means Microsoft is working on that feature right now. The next level is rolling out, meaning that it's starting to come out to different tenants. Finally, we have launched, which means it should now be out for all tenants for which it is supposed to be out. And then finally, we have canceled or what is the other one? Duplicate.
Cancel. Yeah.
Cancel or duplicate. So I'm going to kick us off with in development. There are a couple things I'd like to touch on, and then I'll send it over to Tom for the co-pilot show. So here's one. Microsoft Teams edit and manage town hall instances in Outlook. So organizers and co-organizers can now easily edit the details of a Teams town hall instance. A direct link to the Teams Town Hall edit page is now accessible from the Outlook calendar. This enhancement brings the same seamless editing and registration management experience already available in the webinar, bringing a consistent experience across all event types. Now, this is due out in August of 2025 for the worldwide tenant. Then we also have Outlook, an account manager. Users can use the new account manager feature to learn more about their Microsoft account, display their profile pictures, and add new accounts if that is permitted by their organization. This is also due out in August to the worldwide tenant. So that's the commercial instance. Then we also have SharePoint. Signed Adobe and DocuSign documents are now going to be saved back to the originating folder. This is great. So documents signed through Adobe or DocuSign e-signature, when initiated through SharePoint's e-signature platform, will now be saved to the originating SharePoint folder instead of the default apps folder. The originating folder is the folder where the starting document was located at the point of e-signature request initiation. So I'm excited about that. You don't have to go hunting for those files anymore. And that's rolling out in August of 2025 to the worldwide SharePoint tenant. Tom, what do you have to share?
I have a lot of Copilot stuff.
Okay, I'll buckle up.
There you go. So the first one is in Copilot, the admin control is going to be given to disable file upload in Copilot chat. Now, a lot of times you basically want to give it a file that it can basically run its magic on along with the LLM and, get your answers. I'm not quite sure why you'd want to prevent people from doing that. I'm sure there's a good reason. I just can't think of it right off, but at least you're going to have the ability to say, yes, you can do chat. I just don't want you to give it any additional information that is outside what it's been trained on. So that is coming to both the commercial and GCC this month in July. And then we also have for search grounding, where you can say, hey, here's some of the grounding. Here's the file types I'm going to give you. Apparently, Copilot Chat is now going to give you additional file types. This particular entry doesn't tell you what those additional file types are, but you're going to have more of an option to be able to go in and say, hey, I want to pass it maybe a CAD file or something like that. And it can then make determinations and decisions and analysis on that particular file type. So that's also coming out to worldwide in July. Then we have something that I think is really cool because we've been trying to do roll your own for this in our own organization here. And that is Admin Center, Usage Reports, Copilot Chat, Usage Intensity, and New App Coverage. So this reads as, The Copilot Chat Usage Report will include metrics on prompts submitted and expanded coverage across new host applications. Admins will now see total and average prompt counts at both tenant and user levels, along with user activity insights such as active days, last active dates. Additionally, the report includes visibility into Copilot chat usage within Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and OneNote, enable better tracking of adoption and user engagement across these core functions. It also works with all metrics focused on unlicensed users and support functionality for further analysis. User level information is anonymized by default. So yeah, if you're trying to figure out what are people doing, how are they using it, are we really getting our payback, these are the types of reports that you really need to have available to you. And I'm glad Microsoft is continuing to improve that. That is coming out to the worldwide commercial tenant in August. Then we have, I'm going to skip a couple of these here because they're like, okay, whatever. Uh, you do have easier access now in Microsoft Word to get to the new researcher agent that is available to you in Copilot. If you haven't played with researcher, oh my gosh, you need to go out and do that if you have access to it. Basically, you can give it a prompt, give it the information. Sometimes you can even give it next to no information, and it will then go out into SharePoint, all the things you have access to, and it will generate a really in-depth, comprehensive research paper for you that covers all the information it could find. We did it as a demo once for, give me a research paper on our file share migration. And that's all he gave the prompt. It came back with like a 15-page research with graphs and charts and how many had been done and how many still remain. I'm like, wow. And we've seen some really incredible stuff with it. So definitely play with Researcher if you have a chance. This particular change to allow you to have a better entry on the Word canvas, this is coming out to the commercial tenant in August. And again, it's for Word. We then have, and this can be really useful, you can scope your prompts in Copilot for Teams to specific channels. So if you're wanting to do some analysis on a particular channel in Teams, you'll now be able to refine it down to that level, which means that you won't be getting stuff that may not come into play, or actually you may not want to have come into play just because of the type of answer you're getting. So I think that's going to be very, very useful for people. Again, commercial tenant and August. And I think the last one, next to last one, is Microsoft recent activity is part of Copilot's dynamic document snapshot in Word. So select the activity tab within the Copilot summary at the top of a document. For a summary of recent commands and changes, choose a time window of 3 days, 1 week, or 2 weeks. So again, this can, if you've put out a document, people have been working on it, you come back after a week or so, like, what's changed? What did I miss? This will enable you to be able to get caught up with any of the changes that have occurred in that document, which I think is a really, really cool feature. In the very last one that I will talk about, because this is going out to GCC and GCC High, this is immersive search. So after completing a search in Outlook, a user will see a Copilot entry point in Outlook. That will take them to an LLM, large language model, generated summary of their search query. So emails, Teams messages, and documents within their Copilot side pane. This will, they will then be able to further interact with Copilot to dig deeper into these results and take action items accordingly. So it's kind of cool that it will just give you, all this stuff that you went to search for. And instead of just saying, here's your search results, have fun, it's actually going to try to make some sense of those results, try to do some summaries of the query, what you've got coming back, and then it gives you the opportunity to ask questions about that coming back, instead of you having to go look at each individual item to figure out, does that or does that not work for what I was after in this case. So again, this one is coming out to GCC and GCC High for Copilot and Outlook, and it's due in August. So keep an eye open for that one. I think it'll be kind of popular. So.
Great. Anything else in development you wanted to touch on?
No, I think I touched on enough.
Okay. Well, moving on to rolling out. Microsoft Teams speaker attribution now on by default in bring your own device rooms with enhanced admin controls. So, new PowerShell settings, speaker attribute BYOD in CS Team AI policy, enabled by default, gives IT admins more control over speaker attribution in a bring your own device meeting room. This enhances the experience for users by enabling clear speaker labels and rich in meeting and post meeting insights in Microsoft 365 Copilot. Users just enroll profiles via the team settings to be recognized. Then we also have Microsoft Teams, default Teams calling global policy to enable users to transcribe or record calls. I think this is great, especially if you're in a call center or a help desk. So Microsoft is updating the default global calling policy for new tenants to allow users to transcribe or record calls. Previously, these settings were turned off by default in the host global policy. So with this update, recording and transcription will be enabled by default in the global calling policy for new tenants and existing tenants who have not modified the host global policy. Now, this change will not impact existing customer policies or modified global policies. After this rollout, recording and transcription services will be more accessible to users, allowing them to turn on and use recording and transcription as needed during a Teams call. Neither recording nor transcription will be automatically enabled in a Teams call. This update is designed to broaden across the AI-powered features like Calls Recap and Calling Copilot, enhancing the overall calling experience. It also brings calling policy defaults in line with team meeting policies, where recording and transcriptions are already enabled by default. I cannot tell you how many times somebody has called me ad hoc to get training on something, like a quick tip, help me over this hump. And they wished they could record it, but you can't record calls. So this is going to be especially helpful for the people it's rolling out to, which is everybody. So the commercial tenant, GCC, GCC High, and DoD will see that change. Then I have two more Microsoft Teams usability and privacy improvements for live captions and live transcriptions in meetings. So this is an enhancement to live captions and live transcripts in Microsoft Teams to make meetings more intuitive, accessible, and privacy focused. Live captions are now scrollable, allowing users to review past conversations with more flexibility over a larger surface area. Next, copying captions is disabled by default to protect sensitive information and support compliance. Additionally, the live transcript panel won't open automatically with features that trigger transcription like recording, giving users greater control over their layout. Lastly, if transcription is enabled, users who attempt to open the live transcription panel will see a banner suggesting that they switch to live captions for real-time comprehension. These updates streamline the experience while supporting accessibility and privacy. And then finally, in Outlook, report junk and block or unsubscribe in one same action. So excited. Microsoft is making it easier to keep your inbox clean and under control. Now, when you report an email as junk, you'll also have the option to unsubscribe if that's available. This helps stop unwanted messages at the source and keeps your blocked list from getting overloaded. If unsubscribing isn't possible, you'll still be able to block the sender to prevent future emails. This update gives you more control and a simpler way to manage unwanted messages. And that is rolling out to just the worldwide or standard tenant?
Yeah, the jury's kind of out. You'll hear conflicting viewpoints on that feature because people are
Mm-hmm.
like, don't unsubscribe because then they know they've got a valid address.
Oh.
So some people are like, you don't want to do that. Other people are like, no, when I do that and it unsubscribes from things that are legit, I don't get anything else. I don't have to go find the unsubscribe button somewhere. So I would look forward to this personally, but that's me. So yeah, just keep in mind, you may have other people going, that's the stupidest change ever. And all depends on how you look at it. So on my side, I've got a couple things, surprisingly, Copilot. So we have ground prompts using SharePoint and OneDrive folders. So users will be able to select SharePoint and OneDrive for Business folders from the new attached cloud file experience. So this allows you to be able to scope your prompts to, hey, I only want to have the prompt look at this particular SharePoint site, which is great because if you can point it to a SharePoint site, like I have our Spark One tips, also known externally as 1 Minute Office Magic, I would love to be able to say, hey, I've got a chat question, scope it to that 1 minute or scope it to the Spark One SharePoint site and give me the answers based on that. So I think that's a really cool thing that is coming out to commercial tenants in July. Copilot, only during call. This is going to be really great for companies that have struggled to get legal to allow transcription because we don't want that information out there. We don't want those files saved. This one is Copilot only during call. So Copilot is only available during the live call session and will not be accessible after the call ends. No recording or transcription is required to use Copilot during the call. So basically what this is allowing you to do is during the call, you can ask questions. Give me 5 questions I can ask. Who's talking? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? That's some of the most valuable use of Copilot in a meeting, but a lot of people are like, yeah, but we don't want to enable transcription. That's bad. This allows you to be able to have the benefits of Copilot and still not have that transcription file that's going to be floating around afterwards that can cause legal great angst should any discovery motions come out. So that is rolling out to commercial and GCC, and it's coming out this month. So definitely look for that one if that's an issue in your environment. And then the last one is use Copilot to rephrase text as desired through custom prompt in PowerPoint. So now you'll be able to rewrite text using Copilot using natural language prompting
Nashville language.
in
Y'all come back now,
PowerPoint.
you hear?
Y'all. Oh, for sure. uh, so this is obviously going to be for PowerPoint. It's going out to commercial and GCC. But yeah, you can take some piece of text that you have in a particular slide and say, hey, I think this would sound better if you made it a Southern prompt, and then let Copilot try to play around with it and see what happens. So that's coming out this month. You should have fun with that one. And that's all that I had in rolling out.
Wonderful. I only have one in launched.
And it's probably the same
Microsoft
one that I was
Teams
going to do.
Custom Dictionary.
Yep.
So we talked about this last week. So tenant administrators can now upload a custom dictionary through the Microsoft 365 admin portal's Copilot settings page to include tenant-specific terminology. This is great for all of your alphabet soup acronyms. This enhancement improves entity recognition in Teams meeting transcripts, benefiting both Recap and Copilot's understanding of the content.
That's an awesome change. I love that one. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and that is launched. Now, I hope people take advantage of it.
Yeah, really. There's 3 other ones out here, all of which I will basically briefly read because they are not in my wheelhouse whatsoever. One is for the Purview Compliance Portal, Data Lifecycle Management, separation of the Microsoft 365 Copilot retention policy location from Teams chats. So today admins must manage retention and deletion for Copilot actions using a retention policy location that also includes Teams chats. This feature will provide a new location option for just Copilot interactions separate from Teams chat. I think anytime you can split those things up and make sure that people have some choices as to what they want to do, that's a good thing. Next one up was also Purview Compliance Portal Data Lifecycle. Separate retention policies for Copilot and AI apps. So again, enabling admins to configure retention policies for various Copilots and AI apps. Again, giving you more choices depending on how you want to split things up. And the final one, not Copilot, Outlook. FS Logic support for the new Outlook for Windows. So FS Logic support for the new Outlook for Windows includes registering the new Outlook for Windows package by family name and persisting the user data in local app data. It will also allow for the roaming of user data in new Outlook for Windows for non-persistent BDL. Hashtag new Outlook window. Yeah. I know nothing about what I just said there because I have not a clue as to what FS Logic is. But if that's your world, hey, you've got changes coming. Have fun with them. And
Fabulous.
do you want me to go
The
ahead and take
last
cancel?
one is
you're gonna go ahead.
canceled, and that's for SharePoint pages. They canceled the author inline comments. So if you were waiting for that, you're not going to get it.
They don't even tell us why.
It is canceled, and it's canceled for everybody. Worldwide, GCC High, and the DoD. All right, Tom, do you have anything else to add?
No, I do not.
Me neither. Fabulous. Hope you have a fabulous week. Stay cool if you can. We can because we just got our new air conditioner today. Yay.
We've been going 2 weeks with the house at 80 or like 78, and our offices are probably 85 by the end of the day. I can't tell you how happy we are to hear that air conditioner running right now and getting the house down to a reasonable temperature. And by reasonable, we mean 65 tonight. That's going to be a reasonable temperature for us.
We'll have a discussion.
Okay. And then I will tell you what we're going to set it as.
All right. Well, thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. And we hope you have a great day. Bye now.
Bye all.